You can always count on the Vail Symposium to bring in fascinating guest speakers. And this evening at 5:30 p.m. at the Sebastian is no exception as they welcome Eric Lichtblau, an amazing nonfiction writer who has written a fascinating tale of a young German-Jewish boy that left Germany to America and then was recruited to the OSS. It's fascinating. I'm here with Claire Noble from Vail Symposium. I get so wrapped up in the story, Claire.
No, it's a fascinating story. And, you know, during World War II, the United States had 16 million people in the military. That was 11% of the population. You want to guess what that number is today in terms of percent of the population?
3?
0.4% of the population. So that many people just in the United States, not even including our allies, there's all kinds of stories of heroism and daring that we'll never hear. So it's amazing that Eric was able to find this story and bring it to life for us. His book, Return to the Reich, just came out in October. His book from a few years ago, The Nazis Next Door, was a New York Times bestseller, and he is a Pulitzer Prize winning journalist.
Oh, I'm sure he's going to get some accolades for Return to the Reich as well.
Absolutely. And, you know, you think about, this was a young guy. In fact, you know, the military was full of incredibly young people at that time. And, you know, it draws from the youth of our population. But here's a guy who escapes Germany in 1938 with his family. Japanese bomb Pearl Harbor. He tries to join the military and was rejected as an enemy alien because he came from Germany. Somehow finds his way to the OSS, which was the precursor to the CIA, and then goes back. Can you imagine escaping a place and then going back to work undercover?
Yeah, to be a spy.
I know.
I think he posed, it said as a prisoner of war he posed as?
Yeah, and as an officer.
Yeah.
As a military officer.
Holy moly.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really takes some guts to go do something like that. Freddie Meyer, unfortunately, just died just a few years ago. You know, we're losing all of our World War II vets. There's not very many left.
So was Eric able to, the author Eric, able to interview him and get all this backstory?
Yes, he was able to interview him before he died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so his symposium discussion tonight, it's going to be question and answer session, or is he going to do a reading?
He's going to do a little bit of both. There's going to be some lectures, some reading, but at the end we always reserve about a third of our programs for audience Q&A, so people will be able to either bring questions they have, or a lot of times what will happen is we'll say, okay, we're opening up for Q&A, and then maybe one little lone hand rises. And then the next thing you know, everybody's got their hand up. We rarely get to all of the questions. And one of the things speakers tell us after they leave here is, wow, those were really great questions. You know, sometimes people are a little hesitant, that 30 minutes for Q&A, but they always are blown away by the kinds of questions people ask here.
Yeah, certainly will be some good ones tonight.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, Claire, and for continuing to bring in such fascinating guest speakers.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, that's 5:30 p.m. this evening at the Sebastian. Make sure to check out Eric Lichtblau and this fascinating tale. And we got more Good Morning Vail coming up next.